what's fair? This is Major League Baseball. This is professional sports. The word fair gets tossed out the window, right? You're not going to fire 26 guys or trade 26 guys. The most likely move for a baseball team that underachieves every year is to fire the manager. And then after that, the GM. And then after that, the president of baseball operations. And then you force the owner to sell. How you do that, I have no idea. Because if that was possible, we would have done this 30 years ago with this group, for crying out loud. But it's absolutely warranted with Dan Wilson. And I don't think it's all his fault, Ariel, at all. There's a lot of other things in play here. A lot of veterans that aren't playing to the back of their baseball card. Injuries we talked about are certainly a factor. But the way that he's handled the bullpen, the way this team has not been able to really form any leadership, at least from a public-facing perspective, nobody has been comfortable to step up and really address this baseball team, because all your leaders, let's face it, the guys that you want to hear from, they've all stunk.
Dave Softy Mahler of Sports Radio 93.3 KJR-FM letting his emotions out there. There's a report from ESPN's Jesse Rogers where he says, you know Jerry Dipoto, he'll trade just if it's a Tuesday. He will shake things up in this offseason. Between the chemistry and lack of production, there's going to be a lot of changes. All right, so let's bring in Dusty Baker for a little deep dive, because I know the fans have a lot to say, especially after hearing Softy.
Yeah, guys, you talk about where this fan base is at right now. And in reference to what Softy said, there were a lot of comments. We're talking around 250 people sounding off just from the comments made yesterday. And, of course, let's go through a few of these guys, starting with Steve Myers. He says Dan's not the problem. Cal was out injured this spring, and spring training was too short because of the Baseball Classic. He also mentioned too many of the free agents left. I do want to first address that for you guys. Two of the key free agents were Jorge Polanco and Eugenio Suarez. Right now, Polanco is hitting 148. He has 2 home runs on the season. Gino has 18 bombs, but he's hitting 210, and he also has a .419 slugging percentage. He's on base at 288. Do you guys feel like that's the reason, or is it the World Baseball Classic? Is that the reason why Wilson's had a team that's been struggling and why he should be on the hot seat?
No, I mean, I didn't think either of them should have been retained at the money they were commanding, and just they had plenty of guys to fill those positions. They're just not playing up to their potential.
Yeah.
I do think, and I think it's a little too late now to be blaming the Baseball Classic, but in the beginning, I think it was really fair to blame that, because all of the guys that were playing in it were just not doing well.
Yeah, I mean, we hear a lot about the Baseball Classic for sure, and everybody wants to lay blame on it, and there is definitely some truth there, but don't come at me with the Jorge Polanco. We need to keep him. We blew it. I mean, He's injured, he's beat up, and your numbers right there, Dusty, are ridiculous. And Gino Suarez, as much as we love him, like you said, he had one stretch this summer where he had a streak of 17 games on base, but that was it. So I love the guy, but he's hitting 210. No. That wouldn't have saved this team signing those two guys. Sorry. Take us to some other fans.
Yeah, Paul, to your point, I don't think those guys saved this team by any means. Okay, let's go to Debbie Miranda, who said Dan shouldn't be fired. She also asked the question, so the other teams that don't make the playoffs, should they fire their coaches as well? Just saying. Well, I guess off that point, it also was reported that the Astros, they may be firing their manager if they don't make it to the playoffs. So to a degree, that actually is what may be happening here. We've seen a recent trend of if you don't win now, you're going to be fired. We've seen that in a lot of ways.
All right, man, keep going. I want to hear more from the fans.
Yeah, here's one I think you guys will like right here. And so it's Sean Cropey saying, calm down, Junior, in reference to Softy, of course. Firings happen way too easily in the MLB. I'd give him another year simply because of last year. I think firing him would be a mistake. But hey, let's go on the words of a super emotional guy named Softy. That is my absolute favorite comment. And is he right, guys? I mean, to a degree, it is an emotional take.
Hey, listen, Softy's been in this market for over 30 years. He's earned the right to go up there and squawk all he wants, and that's what generates some of these comments. Yeah. So, take us to another one. Let's go. Let them go back and forth.
Yeah, here you go, man. We got Kevin Kirby saying, I don't think Dan should get fired. We gave Scott 10 years. He got us to the playoffs once Dan's been the manager for 2 years already, been as far as we ever have been, and it's a fair point. You're giving him less of a timeline with higher expectations. He takes this team as far as possible.
Yeah, I agree, and especially when you're saying Scott Service had all the time in the world to perform, and he didn't. So I'm not going to say whether I think Dan should or should not be fired here. I would lean on the side of no. But
listen, I think the Mariners are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You keep Dan here to give him the rest of the season, do what he can with his team. If they don't make the playoffs, yes, there's going to have to be changes, but you certainly don't want to unceremoniously fire this guy right now. You're going to alienate a lot of your fan base because he is an all-time favorite with this organization and the fans.
Yeah.
And the mailbox, guys, was loaded. So we'll just have to keep going through this over time. And if you're watching, send us your comments because you could very well be featured right here. And, of course, Softy taking a blow there as well.
Now, that's the beauty of Softy. We chuck him out there and we just reel in the comments.
He takes it on the chin.
There it is. All right. Thank you, Dusty. Appreciate the time.